This is really cool. We've got people from all over. So I am going to get started. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Denise Gagne, the one that thought up Musicplay in the first place. I have lots of my team members on here with me. This is no longer a single person's effort. This has become a massive team effort. In fact, a lot of the people that you're seeing on the team have just helped to rebuild all the teacher guides, which is exciting. And you will be seeing new song activity information on the website soon. So I am not going to go to the classic site today. I'm just going to jump right into the new site. So I'm going to share screen, and I have Carrie Lynn as my eyes and ears to tell me if I think I'm sharing, and I'm not. So hopefully we are good. So this is the MusicplayOnline website. When you come here, there's actually every area of the site you can search. But the first thing that you want to do if you're new to this site is go to your dashboard, and you want to go to student code. And the first time you come here, it will say generate my student code. I've done this a long time ago, so my student code is here. But really, you don't have to give this to your students. You don't have to give this to anybody, because it automatically embeds in any link that you give your kids. But it's still a good idea to go and generate it, so it will happen. If you go to my dashboard, this webinar and all webinars can be found now in webinars. So these are our previous ones. This one will be added to this section, and announcements pretty soon will just be announcements. But for now, you can get to the webinars in either place. So that's the dashboard. We moved it because we had some people who had issues scrolling over on the left menu. And this way, the left menu is less, it's easier to see the whole of the left menu at one time. That's why we did that. So first I'll show you how your class code embeds. If I go to, let's use grade 1. I like grade 1. I like this song, Doobie Doobie Doo. It's lots of fun. I want to teach it to my kids. So everybody.
Gonna clap my hands, all through the town. Gonna clap my hands when the rain comes down. Gonna clap my hands like a funny clown. Gonna sing out loud.
And I won't do the whole song, but you can see how it's lots of fun. I want to give that to my students in a link. So I copy this, and what the students will see when they go to the site, I have to pull up an incognito window because my windows all remember my passwords. This way it won't remember my password. So if I paste that link in, this is what will happen when the kids click on the link. They'll come here and they'll say, looking to use Doobie Doo in your classroom? Access now as a student. Please be sure to tell your students, do not create an account, just access as a student. And you can see my code embedded already in it. All I have to do is click access some fun. And now I, as a student, can do Doobie Doobie Doo.
Gonna clap my hands.
So that's why you need to go to the dashboard. I'm going to get rid of that window. You need to go to the dashboard, and you need to generate your class code. So my dashboard, student code, generates your class code. And then every link that you give your kids, they'll automatically be able to enter the website. Now, the other new part of this website is the My List feature. We did have some bugs happening this week. So if you had problems this week, we sincerely hope that those problems are over with now. Tech team has worked really, really hard on it.
And if you are still in the building, could you please drop by the office? Ravina Kang, thank you.
Somebody's muting me, and I think that's because I'm in here as a regular participant and not as the presenter. So when I go to my list, I can add a new list, and I'm going to call it Webinar Wednesday Test List. And then when I'm doing a list from scratch, I just go around the website and I find the things that I want to add. So I like that song, Doobie Doobie Doo. So I'm going to go back to that song, and I'm going to go back to that video, but maybe I want the kids demo video so I can show, so the kids can actually do it with other kids. And I'm going to go add to my list down here on the bottom right. And I go up here and click on Wednesday webinar test. I'm going to just say Doobie Kids Demo, so I know what it is. And I add it to my list, and now it's added. I had a problem this week and tech had to come in and bail me out. I couldn't get rid of this list and I wanted to work my way around the site. All you have to do is click on add to my list and it disappears. So I don't know if anybody else has had that problem, but it does. Another question that we had come in: can I add a link to a PDF on the website? So I'm just going to choose one of my PDFs. I can tell they're PDFs because I can see that little logo there. So I'm going to add a link to the ukulele arrangement. This is not a good ukulele song for beginners, but whatever. All I do to add that link is I copy the URL, and then I go back to my list, and I'm using this one, the Wednesday webinar test. So here's my Doobie Doobie Doo that I started with. Now I'm going to add the link to that PDF. And so I'm going to say it's ukulele for Doobie Doo. And I put the URL in. I can copy that, so that is the link text as well. I add it. And now when I go to here, I go directly. So in the My Lists, yes, you can add links to PDFs on the site. You can add links to games. You can add links to activities. Now, I said this particular webinar was going to be about lesson planning and how to use Musicplay Online to make your lesson planning really easy. Now, I know a few people who did ORF levels this summer, and that's how they would like to do their lesson planning. So if you go to the song list and you add a filter, I'm going to go to the directory. I have to scroll down. It's all the way at the bottom. And then I'm going to look for ORF arrangements. Then I can find ORF arrangements by grade level. So if I look in grade 1, here's all the ORF arrangements that I have, all the songs with ORF arrangements, lots and lots of them. If I want to see what I have in grade 2, I'll unclick that and click grade 2. And this beautiful piece of information shows me the tone set, it shows me the rhythm, and it shows me that it does have an ORF arrangement. So if I look at, I'm going to look at bell horses as an example. I go here and there's an ORF arrangement. So there's my ORF arrangement. I can pull it up and project if I want, just to remind myself as much as anything else. I can create word rhythms to teach each of these parts. Bell, bell, horses, bell. And I would have the kids pat that part to learn the bass xylophone. And when they can do that successfully and sing the song at the same time, they're ready to go to the instruments. And then I would teach the other parts. And each of these ORF arrangements has creating ideas. So this creating idea is to say poems that relate to the song as B, C, and D sections. For example, blue bells, cockle shells, EVE over. My mother sent me to the store. This is what she sent me for. Or Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? So whatever you want to do as a creating activity, but we certainly want to have some creating activities in every lesson. So for those of you that teach using ORF process, using the search To find your ORF arrangements makes it super easy. Just go to directory here on this part of the filter, select ORF. In the same way, I could select Kodai if I'm trained in Kodai and that's how I want to teach. But you're going to find that many of the songs overlap, that you can use the songs to teach the reading sequence. You can also use those songs to teach the ORF arrangement. And there's tons of them in here. The other easy way for planning is to use what's in the learning modules. But I'm going to take you into lesson planning because we created new month outlines and I love them. So go into the overview. They're actually on this side as well, but I'm going to go into the overview. And I'm going to look at the month outlines. So if I want to see what Denise has planned in Musicplay for the various months of the year, I can just go here. So let's go to grade 2. And August is done. We're finished with August. And this is the first week of September. So in the Musicplay song list, these are the song options that we have. Keeping in mind, Musicplay is a menu. It's never intended that you do everything that's in there. You might do Welcome to Music, Riding That New River Train, and Engine, and leave out the national anthems. In the learning modules, the middle column says what I have put into the learning modules for this week. So if you decide that you want to use the learning modules, this is a quick look at everything that is in there. And then this third column is additional options. And additional options are all the other areas of the website that you can use for teaching music. So some good suggestions here. Go to the storybook module, use the listening walk, use all are welcome. But again, you will look at it, you will decide what you want to do and how you want to teach it. But I think it's worth the paper to download and print out these month outlines. And again, to get to them, I go into lesson planning, I go into overview, and I go into my month outlines. And of course, you don't have to download all the grade levels, just download the ones you teach. If you teach kindergarten, you can use either pre-K or K or a combination of the two. Pre-K was written more recently than kindergarten, and pre-K has an advantage of having videos of every single lesson that is in the program. So pre-K is strong and has lots of fun stuff. Now, the other new thing that is on the site is what we will learn in grade 1 music. And this came up as a post on Facebook. And we built out these beautiful little one-page PDFs that basically are your scope and sequence for grade 1 music using Musicplay. So in grade 1 music, we're going to learn in terms of the elements of pitch. I can show high, medium, or low sounds. I can show how melodies go up, down, or stay the same. And I can sing and write these notes. I can tell where there's a beat and where there's no beat. I can move to and play a steady beat. I can tell when there's one sound on a beat, two sounds on a beat, or no sound on a beat. And I can read these rhythms. For timbre, speaking, whispering, calling, and singing voices. I should add croaky voice to this list because that's definitely what I have right now. I can identify and use many classroom instruments when I see them or I hear them. I can identify and use woods, metals, shakes, scrapes, and drums. I can classify those instruments. Elements of form. I can show phrases with arm motions. When I do, Lucy Locket lost her pocket, Kitty Fisher found it, not a penny was there in it, only ribbon round it. I use that rainbow motion to show the phrases. And then you can ask the kids, are the phrases same or different? And they're sharp, they've got good ears, they'll tell you. I can move to show different sections of the music. Ha, ha, this away, ha, ha, that away, ha, ha, this away, then, oh, then. Now we go marching, marching, marching. So I move differently in different sections of the music. Elements of music expression, loud and quiet. And I might actually add forte and piano to grade 1 and keep loud and quiet in kindergarten and pre-K. Fast and slow, and you might want to add the terms allegro and largo. Smooth or separated is another one that I use. Here's some of the vocabulary, and here's the national standards. I can create and play rhythm patterns. I can create and sing melodies. I can sing, move, and play instruments. As an audience, I can be a good listener. I can tell or show with movement how the music makes me feel. I can listen to music and sing songs and tell about their places they're from. So this is a very simple way to integrate the national standards into your lessons. If you are teaching in grade 1 music, you'll hit J Kule, and the kids echo J Kule, J Kofisa. It's a song from Ghana. And when you teach the kids about Ghana, then you would say, okay, in this song, we're connecting to the place that it's from. So you can use this to point out. So these are not all up and on the site yet, unless my team has done it faster than me. But right now we have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Maybe if I reload the page, because my team's behind the scenes. Kindergarten will be here, grade 5 will be here. I haven't tackled grade 6 yet. If you want to see an overview of where things are taught in the whole program, here is the overview of this. And of course, you can search any of these terms in the search engine and you'll find songs to teach that. And if you use the Discover engine, you'll find lessons that will teach that as well. So download and print the month outlines. They will be a really useful tool for you to do a quick glance and say, okay, this is what Denise has for this week. I'll use this. If you go into the learning modules, I think it was grade 2 that I looked at for September week 2 in the lesson module. This is what I'm going to have. So let's go to the lesson module and see that. So I go into learning modules, and tech team was able to put all the grades at the top and the extra things at the bottom. Make sure you explore storybooks, general, lots of good stuff here. But let's go into our grade 2 lessons, and it starts from the bottom and works its way to the top. So September week 1 is here. And if you downloaded and printed that month outline, what's here is what was written in the middle column of the month outline. Here is our objectives, and here is a printable lesson guide. And Lisa on our team has been going through and updating these lessons so that they are all updated now. So we start with our welcome to music, and it echoes. Aren't you glad I'm not singing in your room? I often have a rhythm practice and a solfa practice at the beginning of a lesson, just because I think that's a great warm-up for the kids. It's a good focus activity. One of the things I talked about in the Artie and Denise conference this year, when you do the echo things, if you have, it was pool noodle lightsabers that caught my attention with this. But I'm going to do it with rhythm sticks. So student 1 stands this way. I'm student 2, and I'm going to have to move this so I can make it play. I'm going to play the rhythm, and the first student plays it on the other's lightsaber. Now I switch places, and the person who's here would echo. We switch back. So you can use rhythm sticks as your lightsabers. You could use boom whackers as your lightsabers. I don't know that I would cut up a whole class set of pool noodles to do that, but it's fun. We have a warm up with Bobo. And for those of you who haven't met Bobo, he's a little tennis ball that sings patterns and the kids echo. So you echo. And a lot of teachers have been making their own Bobos, and they're much cuter than mine. So if you're in your classroom and you've got your own Bobo, skip that part of the lesson. Echo sing the words for engine number 9. Again, you're in your own classroom, you're a singer, skip this and go right to the notation or the game of engine number 9. And I can tell this is one of our new videos. Engine number 9. So you could go right to that and then play the game. We have links to interactives. And if you're Canadian, sing "O Canada." If you're American, sing "My Country 'Tis of Thee." And you know, it's really fun for the kids to learn each other's anthems. I know my grade 3, 4, 5 choir was thrilled when they got to sing at a hockey game with a Seattle team, and they got to do both national anthems. They loved learning the Star Spangled Banner. This is another one that you'll probably change. Find something at home to use for instruments, because we're now in class and we have our instruments here, and then you can play your instrument with the song, and then the music time is over. So if you like that lesson, you can use it as is, or you can copy it to your list. And that's all you have to do, is copy it to your list. I'm going to change the title because I don't need to know that it's Denise's copy. I'm going to just say grade 2, lesson 1, September, week 1. And then I can go through and edit some of those things that I didn't like. So I'm going to leave Bobo. Well, I'm going to take Bobo out because I've got my own Bobo, and I'm going to just take him out. I don't need somebody else teaching my kids by rote. I can do that. So I'm going to trash them in the garbage can. I'll leave the kids demo video in because it's quite handy. But you know what? I think I'd rather have the kids demo video after they learn the song. So I'm going to use these arrows to move it down. And it didn't go. Now it's gone. Okay, I had to do it twice to make it listen to me. Sometimes I have to do that with my grandkids too, say things twice. So there's the kids demo in a different spot. Let's check the interactives and see if that's something I want to keep. Oh, I like this activity. Point to the beat. The beats will pulse. I love this one where we're working towards audiation with the kids. They sing these out loud. These go inside their head to develop inner hearing or audiation. And we could do clap the words. That's a good one. We could do the beat rhythm switch game. I like that one. I don't know why this is the old one up here. Is the drum playing the beat or the rhythm? Yeah, I might use that. It plays here, and then I have the kids tap on their hearts if they think it's the beat. I have them clap their hands together if they think it's playing the rhythm. And then this is the one that's really valuable. Engine, 2 sounds. Engine number 9. It's just 1 sound. First time with icons, next time with notes. And then we have creating activities. Again, if you're teaching the ORF arrangement, it's suggested you make a word rhythm pattern with chug and chew. This gives you the opportunity to model for your students, and then you have them off in their own little groups doing their creating. Or you can have them do it with notes. So yes, I like that interactive. I'm going to keep it. My Country 'Tis of Thee, I don't have time to teach the anthems if I'm going to do all those creating things. So I'm just going to delete it for now, and I'm going to delete O Canada too. And I'm going to take this away because I'm not at home, I'm at school. And I'm going to just give out instruments and have them play with Riding the New River Train, and then the music time is over. So I have made all those changes to the list. And now when I go back to my lists, here's my list with the changes I've made. Nathan, we got still a little issue there. Still not quite working exactly as it should. This is a very new feature, and there's still a few bugs that we're finding. Maybe I have to reload the page. See if it saved my changes that way. No, it's still there, and I trashed it before. It's gone now. Let's reload. That seems to be gone now for good. So the My List is very helpful. Honestly, the easiest way for anybody to lesson plan is just to start with what's in the lesson modules and then adapt for your own situation. I had a few of the things under the lesson modules that I wanted to share because I think they're not as well known as they should be. In the general section, this third section, Movement Fun Favorites, is super fun. So all of these songs are really, really good. Dum Dum Song and Come On Dance are really more upper elementary. Everything else in here is more pre-K to third grade. But if you want to teach the Dum Dum Song, it's a really fun warm-up for your older kids. It's a real challenge because there's 13 patterns, and you can see myself and 2 of our team members doing it overhead so you don't have to reverse hands when you do it. And we tried playing it on drums. For most of these songs, there is a kids demo with them as well. Skateboard Rider, I keep meaning to make a teacher demo for that, so I will do that soon. This one, you just do what the words say, shake it. I do have a teacher demo. I have to say, I'm quite proud of myself because since that video was done, I have lost 20 pounds. And I don't know if you can see it on here, but I absolutely can feel that those 20 pounds are gone.
Congratulations, Denise.
Thank you. I'm very happy with it. I don't intend to gain them back either. So these are awesome movement activities. You can go to Go Noodle or you can go to the Movement Fun Favorites because they are great. They teach really good concepts as well. And they're fun. Another module in general that I would love you to make good use of is the no touch games. And in the no touch games is a new game. I wrote this a year ago. I like the game Bump Up Tomato, but I can't find out who wrote the game. And so I made my own version of Bump Up Tomato, and it's I like spaghetti, I like lasagna, give me some pasta, freeze, let's make it yum, 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 yum. Let's eat it crisscross, spaghetti sauce, crisscross, I love that sauce. I like spaghetti, I like lasagna, give me some pasta, please, freeze. And then the one in the middle goes around and tries to make his colleagues laugh. And it's hysterical. You can watch the video, but it's really, really funny. And if you can't touch, just do it further apart. We have instructions for the sevens game. And lots of you did this last year, but it's still fun. And your kids that did it last year could use the review. And then we have a demo, how to play it. And then Stephanie Menifee did a demo of how to do sevens with Viennese musical clock. So if any of you have done sevens with something really fun like Viennese musical clock, send us a demo and we'll be happy to put it on the site. I can think of pop songs that would work well with sevens. This game, can you keep a steady beat? Again, you form a circle and you go around and each person says what's on one beat of the song and you do movements. And the demo will show you exactly how to do it. Categories game, it's in grade 4, but it's later in the year. If you want to get to know your kids, categories is fun. This name game is actually a very easy name game for your littles. I'm going to let you watch the kids' demo of this one.
The game I'm going to teach you now is a name game, and it's called Name Game, but it's really a get to know you game. So pat 2 times and then your hands go out. This is good for our little people. They can do this too. And what we're going to do first is names around the circle. So let's just practice the beat. Down, down, out, out, down, out. And now we're going to say our names when we put our hands out. Miss Gagne.
Lisa.
My Maya,
Serge,
Carrie Lynn,
Brian,
Christy,
Miss Gagne. So you can go all around the circle and get to know everybody's names. Now we're going to ask everybody, what's your favorite color? And this is okay in this game if you say the same color more than once. Are you ready? Let's practice the pattern first. Down, down. Red, purple,
Forest Green,
magenta,
Red,
baby blue.
Yellow.
Nice. And now we're going to tell what our favorite sport is. Whatever your favorite sport is, you say it while you're going. And this time we are going to pattern 2 times first. Badminton,
Yoga,
Soccer,
hiking,
So the purpose is not to get somebody out. The purpose is to get to know each other better. So a great, in this time of the year, a great way to get to know your students a little bit. We did favorite sport. We could have done favorite food. When you get to Halloween, you could do favorite Halloween treat. You could do other things. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. The heads or tails game, you have to make up dice for this one with note values on it. That was fun. This is Beat Detective, Scooby Finds the Beat, where you try and figure out who's changing the pattern, and then the Bim Bam song. So those modules in the general section are well worth taking a good look at. So general, these are extra instrument songs. This is a whole set of lessons on In the Hall of the Mountain King. That's fun to do in October for Halloween. The listening walk lesson is here. That's a great, again, early in the school year, a great lesson to do. I wanted to show you the storybooks because storybooks is new. And we have this many storybooks, but I just actually wrote a lesson on Doobie Doobie Moo. And so I'll add Doobie Doobie Moo to this area. So listening walk section lesson is here as well. All are welcome. Again, a nice welcoming song for beginning of the school year. Here's 2 Orff arrangements, and these were written by one of our Musicplay teachers. It's by Terry Sponsler. So this is my melody that I made for Welcome, 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 Welcome everyone. We will have a lot of fun. And she's done a nice simple arrangement. I would do that maybe grade 2, grade 3, maybe even 4. And then she's done her own melody for it. All are welcome here. All are welcome here. We will learn to sing and play, making music every day. All are welcome here. Sorry for my croaky voice, but this one is a little more challenging and would be great for your older kids to do it. And then the story, here's my little song, and you can hear it. You could just do it unison. If you have little people, you could simply have them play the board
everyone. We will have a lot of fun, making music every day. All are welcome here.
And that's all there is to it. And then the welcome, all are welcome story is a
All
really
Are Welcome
beautiful
by
storybook.
Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman. Pencils sharpened in their case. Bells are ringing, let's make haste. School's beginning, dreams to chase. All are welcome here.
And then you pause, you sing, and you go on with the song. So in the storybook module, there are some gems that you will want to explore. I really love May Among the Stars. It's a beautiful storybook. And I wrote with Craig Castles a choral arrangement that is inspired by the refrain in the book. So all kinds of interesting stuff. Okay, that is my list of topics for today. I want to take questions now. So how are we doing for questions?
Yes, we have quite a few. We're going to start in lesson planning, if that's okay.
Okay.
So while you were showing the "What will you learn" poster, we had several questions about which curriculum it's based on and if it can be used in Canada, Ontario, Edmonton.
Yes. Okay, so I will go into, there's two scrolling bars. I can scroll here or I can scroll here. So lesson planning was out of sight for just a minute for me, but I can scroll and I can find it again. And I'm going to go into the overview is where we put this, and we put them in. Oh, look at this, kindergarten has appeared. And grade 5. Thank you very much, team. So I'm going to go into what we will learn in grade 3 music. So this is very broadly based on an amalgamation of almost every curriculum. So if you're teaching in Ontario, for example, this is the part of the foundational objectives, the elements of music that you have in your curriculum. There might be the odd thing that's a little bit different, but it's going to be very close to this. Now at the bottom, these are the national standards. So this is the core art standards from the United States. But again, it's very close to Ontario's curriculum. And I think it's very close to what Alberta is going to write. So the creating and performing, I have to remember the words. And I can't remember. Respond and reflect is what it has in the Ontario curriculum, but it's essentially the same idea. And the connect in the Ontario curriculum is the connecting to what cultures it comes from. So the words up here might be a little bit different, but the actual ideas are very, very close and very similar. If I can find Lisa Snow's, I can show you Lisa's. So this is what Lisa Snow made, and this was hers, and we really liked it. So we actually decided to improve our design. So in the Ontario curriculum, it talks about creating and performing. So in mine, it's 2 separate sections. Here, it's in one. Reflecting and responding would be the equivalent to my respond. Culture and context is the same as my connect. So really what I have here is very much what I have here. The etiquette skills that are shown here are under perform. And I've included both what I'm going to do as a performer and what I'm going to do as an audience. So I talk about concert etiquette in here. We're going to, when time permits, and this could be November, maybe even December until we have slowed down enough here. We've got a person in the office who's really good at Word, and we'll get her to make Word documents of these. And once we've got the Word documents up, instead of a PDF, you can edit. And again, you can create this and make it your own. But yeah, no, I love these. I think they're great. Okay, next question.
Awesome. Alrighty. Again, another one for lesson planning. Do you have any long range plans for dance? This was asked from YouTube.
I would say no. And this is probably Ontario again, because Ontario, a lot of music teachers are required to teach dance, but long range plans I don't have. What we do have on MusicplayOnline that will be very helpful if you go over and into units and go into dance. But if any of our Ontario teachers would like to share their long range dance plans, I absolutely would be interested in taking a look at them. You can see we do have some creative movement activities. And what I would like to do to tie into the Ontario curriculum better is to provide audio examples, because there's a lot of creating. And currently we're a little skimpy on the creating activities for dance. We have lots of songs with choreography, with lots of movement activities. And of course, the songs with choreography give the kids a vocabulary. So it's really important for them. And then we have these beautiful, beautiful little dances here that we've added to it. So you can search by K1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And there's lots of dance materials, but no, I have not made a dance long range plan.
Okay. Last question that's kind of lesson planning unless other stuff comes up is what's the difference between the learning modules and lesson planning?
The learning modules are the actual modules. The lesson planning gives you the information and the song lists. So when I go into these month outlines, actually I can start with my year plans. I can go into my year plans for, here's my song list for K to 6, here's my year plans. This gives me the big picture of what's being taught in every grade. So it's K1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and middle school. The month outlines gives me the song sequence in Musicplay and the modules. But what the modules actually do is I always say a picture's worth 1,000 words, or 100 words. A video's worth 1,000 words. These learning modules are so much easier than trying to teach a lesson from a printed lesson plan. Because you can kind of see what my process is. I have a welcome song. I have some echoes. I have a fun warm up. I sing and move, sing and move, sing and move. And this is kindergarten. That's what we want to do. And it's all here and laid out. And that to me is the difference. This brings it to life and gives you a very visual version of a lesson plan, as opposed to a printed version of the lesson plan that you'll find in the lesson planning section.
Perfect. Okay, so now that you're in learning modules, let's go a little bit deeper. So I got 2 questions. One, where is the Dum Dum song? And number 2,
Okay.
where are the name games and the no touch games?
Okay, so I'm going to do name games first because they're not in the learning modules other than in the individual lessons. And I did put first week of September, lots of name games, back to school, lots of name games. But for lots of name games and easy access, go into units. And then you can select festivals and holidays, but I can see back to school right here because it's the letter B. And here we have a list of all the name games that are in Musicplay and related grade levels. And then we have welcome songs as well. We have some mixers, so kids get to know each other and teach them how to get up and moving. And this is interesting because grade 1, I like you, yes I do. Will you be a friend of mine? I like you. Very simple. You get to grade 5, green Sally up, green Sally down, lots of fun. I added a link to Up the Ladder, Down the Ladder, because that's one that's often mentioned, and this was a particularly good demonstration. Let's just be brave here and see if our Safe Share link is still working, and it is.
Up the ladder, down the ladder, one by one, the ladder, up the ladder, down the ladder, one by one.
That's not my video, so it's a link to it. All these behavior notes are really handy to download, print, decide which ones you want to use in your classroom. Here's the music rules. Here's the Hello Beat chant. This is also in pre-K in one of the early lessons, but the projectable is here for it. Jump in, jump out is here. So you'll find name games in units, in the back to school unit, as well as on the site. I bet you if I search, if I go to the Discover and I search name, spell it right, name game. Oh, look at this. I get lots of results. So you can use that Discover tool to search and it'll find you answers in modules and it'll find you answers in songs and it finds you the unit where the name games are. So give that a try. Okay, so Carrie Lynn, I forgot what the first question was.
I also forgot. Dum Dum, the Dum Dum song. Did you talk about that?
Okay, yes, Dum Dum song is in general and it's in movement fun favorites. And now that you have asked, you're going to have it in your head for the rest of the evening. It's one of those. So just copy what's going. Dum dum da 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 dum dum da da. Dum dum da 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 dum dum da 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 dum dum da 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 dum dum da da. Dum dum da 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 dum dum dum. So what I would do with this is I'd watch a segment, take note of the time. It ended at point 18. Practice it with my kids, and if they've got that one, we go on to the next. Dum, dum, da, 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 dum, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, 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 dum, dum, da, 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 dum, dum, dum. And pause it again. Practice with your kids. There are, like I say, 13 patterns. This is 3.5 minutes. And we did this in one take, remembering all 13 patterns. This is my cure for Alzheimer's, is the Dum Dum song. While we're here, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and show you Come On Dance. I still haven't found, I have somewhere in my files a video of this. Jeanette made us a video.
Come on, everybody, it's time to dance.
Of course, we've got one that's.
We're looking for someone to take a chance.
And now a new person is the leader.
Make sure you put on your dancing shoes, 'cause you're gonna show us all your moves. You can dance high, you can dance low, you can dance fast, or you can dance.
So that is another really, really fun song. This is upper elementary kids. This isn't lower. You could certainly do it with your lower, but the upper kids, you could hear them laughing and they're just having a really, really good time with it. Okay, Carrie Lynn, there was one other question and I can't remember what it was.
No touch games. Did you talk about those?
I
Yes.
did.
You did.
So,
Yep.
okay, so no, I will just show again, learning modules, general, and scroll down a little bit. No touch games are right here. And again, I know in Alberta, our teachers are likely going to be looking for these because our COVID numbers are so bad right now. So if there is something where there's touch involved, just space your kids out and do it without actually touching.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. I did get another question. Now we're talking about my list.
Yes.
So Danielle asked, can you print the my lists?
That is a question I don't know. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens if I try. I'm gonna print it. It
No.
appears. No, well, you know what? It does print
No.
some of it. It's not showing everything, but it's showing enough. I would only save that as a PDF. I wouldn't waste the paper on it. But yes, there is some things that are printing. And again, that's something we will request that our tech team look at.
I was just going to say from my end, that is not officially supported, but I just added it to my list as a great idea. So we'll look into it.
Okay, see, you come on these webinars, your wishes certainly get, absolutely. If anybody has a request or a bug, I'm going to show you the little bug report. So in this case, I would put my name in. You can see I've done this a few times. And this is on MusicplayOnline, and I am putting in a suggestion. Can you make my list printable? And submit. It's that fast. And unlike some people's suggestion boxes, we go through these daily and we listen to your ideas. If there is a bug, we work hard to get it fixed.
Yeah, so Brianna, that would be a good bug to submit to us. The fact that you're trying to scroll down the menu and it's not scrolling, for sure submit it so that Nathan can take a look. I think as well, whoever was having trouble with the September week 2 lesson outline being different, also a bug, please send a bug report so that we can action that immediately. So that's good. Okay, next thing.
Okay, I mucked up here. Are you seeing my Zoom?
Yeah,
window
no,
here?
I'm still seeing your Zoom. Yeah, and I'm still seeing grade 2, lesson 1.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Okay, so I have a question from Jennifer asking if the engine beat and rhythm pages are printable. Or like the interactive is
That is
printable.
a real question I love to answer. So I'm going to find engine. I know it's grade 2 and I could select grade 2, and engine is early in the year. So you can screenshot anything that's in those beat and rhythm, but we have built accompanying beat and rhythm worksheets. So where I pointed to the beat in the worksheets, I have a beat pointing page that's formatted especially for you to print. Where I clicked off the beats for kids to sing inside their head, the beat assessment asks them to sing the whole song inside their head and figure out what word falls on beat number 2. Engine. It would write down engine. Where we did the clapping the words, there's a rhythm pointing page. I don't actually ever use this. This I do use. We call this a song sort. And what you do is you print off those 2 pages. I cut them up and then I put them into my little CD envelopes. Can you see this here? This is Choo Choo Train cut up as a song sort. And it was my daughter that thought up a fabulous idea of getting the kids to create an accompaniment for the song. So the first thing they had to do was sort the song out, which was all that I had thought of doing it for it. And then she had them create accompaniments. I'll quickly zip through the rest of the worksheets and then I'll show you what she did with those song sorts. This is an assessment. So after you've done that, is it 1 sound or 2 sound? And then you do it with the notes. You can do either the 2-beat assessment. This one's easier. If your kids are struggling a little bit, engine is 2 sounds, and then they would just draw it on. If you remember, we had the chugga-choo that I said we could create word rhythm patterns. Here's the manipulative. And so I don't know why I've got this one. This is an older version of it. But I give the kids, again, packages of these. They create their word rhythm patterns. They choose an instrument or 2 instruments, and they play the chugga-choo patterns as a B section. Sing the song as the A, play this as a B, or play it as an introduction. And again, if you want note squares, we've included that. So I think we've rebuilt most of the beat and rhythm activities. Engine is the exception. It's the old one up there. But there's 155 of these activities on MusicplayOnline, and each of them has this wealth of beautiful worksheets that you can do. This is just an extra train song thing. So the beat and rhythm activity is here, the interactive. Look at that. It is the new one. Okay, that it's funny. Things happen at MusicplayOnline all the time. So I can sing and point, the beats will pulse.
Ready, go, engine number 9.
And when I go to the next one, back one, I can X out the beats. And that's where the kids have to think the song inside their head. And to them, this is just a big game. This is what the new ones look like. And if they look a little odd, make it go full screen and it'll look just beautiful. These are quite lovely. So here's clap the words, they'll pulse, beat and rhythm switch. Now beat and rhythm are side by side, which I asked for. And the definitions are here. Beat is the steady pulse in music. Rhythm is the way the words go. And is the drum playing the beat or rhythm? And you'll get a nice little... If the kids think it's playing the beat, they should tap the beat on their heart. If you get it right, we got it right. And then we can try again. That is the rhythm. So I want the kids clapping what they hear. If the train goes off the tracks. So in the time we've been on the webinar, that's been updated, which is, again, amazing. Okay, more questions, Carrie Lynn.
Perfect. You're actually on a great page. I have a question of how did you get the song onto my list? I thought you had showed us to copy the URL, but it didn't work for me.
You copy the URL for a PDF. But for a song, I want the notation of engine because I want the kids reading the music. And then I go add to my list. And I'm going to put it into my Wednesday webinar test. And I'm going to call it engine number 9, notation, add it, and now it's in my list. And if I go over to my list and check, Doobie Doobie Doo is there, and there's our engine number 9 notation. So I've got that little note saying that I know it. Any of the activities on the site, for example, if I go to the games and I want to play instrument bingo with my kids, I'm going to choose that game and I'm going to add it to my list. Anything that has this yellow button can go right into your list. It was, somebody had asked on Facebook, what do I do about PDFs? And PDFs is where you would copy the URL. If you have a YouTube video that you want to put in your My List, you copy the URL. So any external site that has something that you like, you can copy the URL and add it as a procedure to your list. Let's get a YouTube window up. And I'm going to look for, oh, let's do this one, The Drops of Green. This is a great arrangement of Hi-Ho the Rattlin' Bog. I put it in a grade 6 module last year because we have Hi-Ho the Rattlin' Bog on MusicplayOnline. So I copied the URL. Now I go back to my list. This is the one I want to put it in. And I go down to the end. I add a procedure, and I'm going to call this Hi-Ho, copy the URL, Hi-Ho, Rattlin' Bog. I can add teaching notes if I want, and then I add it as a procedure. And when I go back, there's my link to Hi-Ho, the Rattlin' Bog. So if you've got a game site that you go to, if you go to Kahoot, and you play games on Kahoot and you want to put it into my list, you can do it by copying URL. Anything on the site that's interactive, you just add it to my list. So if I want to add a virtual, glockenspiel. There's the kids glockenspiel. I can add it to my list, and that's the easy way to do it. You'll see this popping up throughout. And it's now there. Okay, more questions.
Perfect. Okay, so we're getting some bug reports, so that's really good. So please, if you see that little bug and you have something weird, definitely click on it. I'm seeing that there's a lot of, so when you toggle out of large screen, it jumps back up to the top. We are looking at that bug and trying to track it down. It's kind of like hunting, so it's taking us a while. Okay, and then there's that and all of that stuff. Okay, so before I jump into other questions, there has been one question. Are the materials in the learning modules, are there materials in the learning modules that is not covered in lesson planning? And I would say, yeah.
I would say yes, there is, because especially when I started last September, I was writing a lot of stuff for kids that were home and still going at it from that viewpoint. But I would say there is not a lot that isn't in lesson planning. I veered very far off lesson planning in grade 5 and in grade 6. And I made January, February, March modules on the jazz history unit. And I still think that was a good thing to do. But the other grades, K3 is going to follow the lesson planning pretty closely. Grade 4 will go pretty closely. I added in recorder using the glockenspiel play along. Grade 5 and grade 6 is where I veered off the most, because grade 5 and grade 6 are harder ages to teach. And if your kids are at home and they don't have ukuleles or bucket drums or guitars, it's really hard to know what to do with them.
I would say one last thing too, if you go to the lesson planning section, just one of the features that I don't know is used 100%. If you click on one of those tiles, like pre-K November or something,
Okay,
or any of them.
Let's go pre-K September.
Perfect. So we have added in the list, so that Musicplay song list, that's the list that is in this week, right? So as you can see up at the top, September week 1,
Yeah.
which has to be cleaned up a bit, of course, but that's okay.
It looks like a lot, but with pre-K, those all go very quick.
Oh,
I've
good.
done that lesson many times, and it is a half-hour lesson. And then this will take you to the learning module, so you can
Exactly.
compare them side by side. So
Yeah.
not quite as much in the learning module as there was in the actual lesson. I spaced it out more over 2 weeks in the modules.
Mhm. And in that, you'll also find if there are units that are specific to this week, you'll see those show up, and any listening activities as well. So this is kind of a good place to start from as you're going through and discovering.
Another thing that you'll find in if you go to pre-K, and I go to planning resources, you'll
Perfect.
have your overviews here as well. You'll have blank templates for writing your own, but now that we've got the My List Builder, I think that's better than doing paper copy. We have lesson module overview videos, which I have to start doing again. There just hasn't been time. But I did all the way from January to June, and the intent is to do from August to December so that it gives a quick overview video. But pre-K also has these model lessons, which are really valuable. They're actually a class. It's a non-selected class. This was in a 4-year-old daycare class, 4 and 5-year-old daycare class. And you can see 31-minute lesson. So you see the lesson, warts and all. Carrie Lynn was my videographer, and she got to see the teaching, good and bad.
Mostly good, of course. Okay, so there is one question that has shown up that's kind of the same, kind of related. One question, if you can use our stuff with Nearpod. And so we did a little bit of digging in the background right now because we didn't know what it was. And so you can paste like URLs from the site into it, but just like any LMS and everything, you'll have to have the student code embedded in the URL. That kind of talks a little bit about, can we add materials that are not from Musicplay into my list? And I saw a couple people asking if the YouTube videos show up without ads, if you put them in.
No, they
No.
have ads.
Yeah, but you can add materials that are not from Musicplay. As long as it's a link, you can add it. So take that as you will. Okay, what's the next one? So Lisa asked, are the interactives smartboard friendly?
That's why we have been rebuilding them. So the earlier, a lot of the earlier interactives were drag and drop, and those stopped working on smartboards in January last year when Chrome changed something. So we've had to go in and rebuild everything, which is why we have a new engine now, and everything is click to enter. So I actually used a smartboard in Sioux Falls, South Dakota when I was there in August, and everything that I used in my day worked just beautifully on the smartboard.
Perfect. Yeah, and so if anything's not working, again, use that little bug and it goes directly to that to our programmer. Okay, so we are not doing musical instruments for 7-8 due to COVID. Any ideas for that? So this is a COVID.
Okay, I would go into the units. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. I want to go into instruments. Body percussion, we have Christian's basics and Christian's level 2. His level 2 is hard. It will challenge your 7 and 8s. Start at at the 6th lesson. So start where it says rock and roll. I wouldn't do the earlier ones. They're too young. So the basics, I would start here and I would go through all of these, and it will, honestly, I find Christian stuff quite challenging. He's a performer and he's very, very good at what he does. And then when you get into his level 2 stuff, it's going to be quite a bit more challenging. And we've done some choreography to pop songs as well. We Love Dancing is Better When I'm Dancing, Megan Trainor. Freedom Flag is body percussion choreography to Wave and Flag. And then I would set your students a challenge to create their own body percussion to this. The other thing that I would do with 7s and 8s, I would go into bucket drumming. And these are all the exercises. And again, we have songs that are written for bucket drumming. And the logical next step for me would be to get my students to pick a pop song and create their own bucket drumming arrangement for it. And I'll tell you, if you get some good ones, send them to us. We'll maybe give your kids $50 for a bucket drumming arrangement that is really usable and something we can use on the website for other kids.
Perfect. Okay. And then I think we're coming to the end of our questions. Has the list been edited to be culturally sensitive?
Oh yes, we have been doing some significant edits. So there is the odd song that you'll see has an asterisk in the title. That means you should probably read the song information and get a little more background on it. I'll give you an example. Grade 4. We had the song Akitaki Yunga in here, and it is no more because Akitaki Yunga was supposed to be mimicking. Where's paddle in my kayak? What number is it?
It's grade 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm in the wrong grade. So grade 2.
7. 7.
There we go. Okay, so Akitaki Yunga, we looked at it and said, you know what? The idea of this song is inappropriate. We should not be mimicking the Inuit language. And so we changed it to Paddle in My Kayak. It has fun actions. It has a good tempo thing, but it's totally appropriate for kids. So we've gone through the whole of the Musicplay song list for appropriateness. In grade 4, the big change in 4 is Land of the Silver Birch. Many of our American teachers are blissfully unaware of the controversy surrounding that song, and the poor teacher in Toronto who she got reprimanded by her principals for using the song Land of the Silver Birch because they felt it was racist, because it it romanticizes the Indigenous way of life. There was certainly some legal argument about it. She sued them, and I hope she was successful. But the result of that is it's become a very toxic song, and I would never teach it again. So what we have done instead is we've done This Is My Home. There's Canoe Song. Where is This Is My Home? I'm sure I'm looking right at it.
That is a good question.
I'm going to search for it and see if I can find it. Okay, it's number 30. Answers that question. So I wrote this. I actually really like the song. It captures some of the mood of the piece.
I love the mountains, I love the rivers, I love the oceans that crash on the shore. I love the lakes and I love the forests. I love this land and this is my home. Oh, my home. Oh, this is my home.
So we've got a lovely song to replace one that was inappropriate or outdated is what we've called it. And we've been pretty much through all of Musicplay and still are reviewing it. When I reviewed the new teacher guides, I pulled Old Dan Tucker because when I was trying to write a disclaimer for it, I realized you can't write any excuses for this song. It's just plain wrong. As much as I liked our recording of it and the arrangement of it, it's gone. And we replaced it with
Make money.
Pay Me My Money Down. So it will be an equally fun song for grade 4s to sing, but it will be an appropriate song for our kids to be singing.
Excellent. Alrighty. we're having a whole bunch of fire quick questions. We got one is how many people work for themes and variations?
I actually counted up and we've got 15 that are mostly full-time and then 3 part-timers. So our staff has gone whew, since COVID because all of these things do not happen by themselves. We've got a pretty dedicated team. We could probably use a few more, but we don't have the time right now even to train them. But yeah, 17 now.
Yeah, holding strong. Okay, one last question, I guess. Can I post a direct link, say to Google Classroom, to an entire lesson module for my students to do while at home?
Yes, absolutely. And for subs as well, this is a great way to get subs teaching. They can log in as a student and tell them in your lesson plans to log in as a student. So if you've got a sub coming in next week, all you do is you copy the URL and you give it to them, or you give that URL to students and it will embed the code. I have to show this via an incognito window. That's the only reason, because it doesn't remember my passwords. And if I do that, this is what you see. Your sub or your students access as a student. Tell subs not to access as an educator. The code's in there already. And so when I access some fun, I go right to that lesson. Easy peasy.
Perfect. Okay, we have one last question. I'm going to stop saying that. Teaching dance in classroom, can you just quickly show where the dance units are again?
Yes, go into units and then go into dance, filter by dance, and then you choose by grade level. There's actually also a line dancing unit here, and that might be another good 7-8 option for your grade 7-8 kids. Have them learn a few line dances and then go on and create their own. But yeah, these dances are great.
Perfect. Okay. 2 questions. Question 1, if you purchase the teacher version of Musicplay Online, do students automatically have access? Can you show that one last time for generating codes?
Yeah. So as soon as you are on Musicplay Online, go to My Dashboard, go to Student Code, and where it says now enter the code, it will, the first time you come here, it'll say generate your student code. It's a random generation coding thing, and it will generate. And then from once you've done that, every single video or game or activity that you give kids a link to, they'll go straight there.
Perfect. And then 2 last questions. How much is it for a teacher license in Canada?
Okay, so Canadian schools is $200 a year. That price has not changed. American schools is $175 per year. And that did go up a little bit. The dollars were going in the wrong direction this year for the site to be sustainable. Basically, we charge as little as we can and still pay our 17 employees as well as they deserve to be paid. And, you know, if you had a school with 17 teachers in it, you just picture what the budget would be for that school. And then you have to sort of divide it up amongst the people that are using it. And that's what we have to do. And we've been able to keep the price for Canada $200 a year since we started, and don't foresee raising prices. And there's a monthly purchase option as well as an annual. So if you find it easier to pay by the month, you can certainly do that.
Perfect. And then last, because we're going to just close it up now, can you show where this webinar will be under dashboard and
Yes.
webinar?
So it's here is my dashboard, and there is a new section called webinars. Thank you, Nathan. And this webinar will be here.
So it's actually that top one right now, Intro to Musicplay Online webinar. That's us right now. If you click into it, there's going to be an inception kind of.
There you go.
Boom.
It'll be there very quick. I have such a good team. I don't know how to do any of this stuff, and they're wonderful that they know how to do all this stuff for me. So thank you very, very much, everybody who's spent some time Can we save the chat, Carrie Lynn, so we can answer any questions after?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And if you're finding that your question isn't answered, please send it to support@musicplay.ca.
Or if it's a curriculum question, Denise at musicplay.ca. I'll just put that in here. If you're on Facebook at all, Musicplay Teachers Group on Facebook is another really, really good forum. Yeah, I always recommend to teachers that they don't do Facebook under their real name, so students and parents don't find you. Do it as your first name and then make something up, so that it's you keep your privacy from your students and parents. But yeah, by all means, use Facebook for the music teacher groups that are on there. They're fabulous and wonderful. And thank you very, very much, everybody, for coming, and thank you for your thank yous.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.